Today marks day 6 of the federal government shutdown, and the governors of Oregon and Illinois continue to push back on President Trump's efforts to deploy National Guard troops to their states. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. Today's the 6th day of the federal government shutdown. The Senate is set to vote today on reopening the government, but NPR's Luke Garrett reports Republican and Democratic lawmakers remain at an impasse.
Senate Republican leader John Thune and Democrat leader Chuck Schumer both say they want to talk, but disagree on what to discuss. Schumer wants to negotiate health care benefit extensions, while Thune will only talk about reopening the government. Meanwhile, Speaker Mike Johnson says he's keeping the House closed for the week. Johnson, a Republican, blames Schumer on NBC.
They're doing this to get political cover because Chuck Schumer is afraid that he won't win his next re-election bid to the Senate.
And House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, also on NBC, threw the burden on President Trump.
The president's spending all of his time on the golf course. We need serious leadership.
Schumer says the only solution is another meeting between Thune, Johnson, Jeffries, Trump, and himself. Luke Garrett, NPR News, Washington.
Late last night, a federal judge in Oregon issued a second order blocking President Trump from deploying any National Guard troops to Oregon. It's the second ruling this weekend on the issue from the same judge, and it comes after Trump ordered troops from Oregon and California to deploy to Oregon. He's also ordered National Guard troops from Texas to go to Illinois. Illinois Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker is calling these deployments, quote, Trump's invasion. From member station WBEZ in Chicago, Araceli Gomez-Aldana reports Pritzker has resisted other demands by Trump.
The governor also refused to activate Illinois National Guard troops, even after the White House gave him what he called an ultimatum, saying, call up your troops or we will. And on Sunday, after learning about Trump's move to send Texas National Guard to Chicago, Pritzker called it, quote, madness, and asked Texas Governor Greg Abbott to refuse. In the meantime, the U.S. Border Patrol agents have been patrolling downtown Chicago wearing tactical gear and carrying long guns and making arrests.
Araceli Gomez-Aldana reporting. Hundreds of thousands of people marched across Europe this weekend in support of Palestinians. In Britain, about 500 people were arrested at a peaceful rally. NPR's Lauren Freyer reports some back a group that advocates for Palestinians.
The UK government has banned even expressions of support for a group called Palestine Action after some of its members vandalized UK military aircraft that had been used in support of Israeli operations in Gaza. Since the ban, there have been weekly sit-ins where thousands have been arrested for holding placards or chanting. UK officials asked organizers to cancel this weekend's gathering, saying it would divert police from guarding synagogues after an attack last week, but organizers refused. Now UK officials say they'll give police enhanced power to crack down further. Lauren Freyer, NPR News, London.
The Israeli Foreign Ministry reports that activist Greta Thunberg and scores of others have been deported. Israel detained them as they tried to deliver aid to Gaza. Terry Schultz reports.
Swedish Foreign Minister Maria Stennergaard tells the TT News Service she's received reports that 22-year-old Greta Thunberg has been treated badly by Israeli personnel. Italian journalist Lorenzo D'Agostino, who was held with Thunberg, says he saw it happen.
She was humiliated and wrapped in an Israeli flag and exhibited like a trophy. I had the feeling of being in a really barbaric place.
Stennergaard reminds Israel the, quote, need for food and water must be met, and that all those detained must be allowed to meet with a legal representative if they wish. Israel denies Thunberg has been mistreated. For NPR News, I'm Terry Schultz.
Negotiators from Israel and Hamas are supposed to hold indirect talks today in Egypt. It's about ending the war in Gaza. Tomorrow marks the second anniversary of Hamas's attack on Israel. That killed nearly 1,200 people and took 251 people hostage. President Trump and Arab nations are pressuring the negotiators to work fast. Israel is continuing to strike Gaza, killing dozens of people over the weekend. The government may be shut down, but the federal courts are still working. That includes the U.S. Supreme Court. NPR's Nina Totenberg reports the justices open a new term today.
The court's docket includes many muscular assertions of presidential power, assertions that likely will have a willing audience at a court dominated by a majority more conservative than at any time since the early 1930s. Bottom line, the court could end up overturning a nearly century-old decision that established independent regulatory agencies with fixed terms and barred the president from firing agency directors except for misconduct. Also on the docket is a challenge to Trump's massive tariffs, as well as a case that could end what's left of the landmark Voting Rights Act. In addition, Trump's executive order limiting birthright citizenship is also back before the court. Nina Totenberg, NPR News, Washington.
3 scientists have been awarded this year's Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine today. NPR's Rob Stein reports this is for their work discovering how the human immune system is kept in check.
The 3 scientists are 2 Americans, Mary Brunko and Fred Ramsdell, and 1 Japanese, Shimon Sakaguchi. The researchers won for explaining something called peripheral immune tolerance. This is a key part of how the immune system protects but does not harm the body. The Nobel Committee says the trio made groundbreaking discoveries that explain the function of cells the committee calls the immune system's security guards, cells called regulatory T cells. Those cells help prevent other immune system cells from attacking healthy tissue. The 3 scientists will share more than $1.1 million. Rob Stein, NPR News.
Pop star Taylor Swift is once again topping the charts. This time it's at the box office with the film complement to her 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl. NPR's Ava Pukach has more.
Now I know the life of a showgirl, babe.
The official release party of A Showgirl took in an estimated $33 million at the domestic box office for the 3-day event. The film featured personal reflections from Swift, lyric videos, behind-the-scenes footage, and premiered the music video for The Fate of Ophelia, the first single off the album. This was Swift's second partnership with AMC Theaters. The first, the concert film of her Eras tour, is the highest-grossing concert film of all time. Ava Pukach, NPR News.
Tonight will feature the biggest, brightest moon of this year. And as NPR's Amy Held reports, it will also start a season of supermoons to close out the year.
Supermoons happen 3 or 4 times a year, but this first supermoon of 2025 ushers in a trio in the last 3 months of the year. It happens because the moon's 27-day orbit of Earth is not in a perfect circle, but more like an oval. So when a full moon coincides with its closest approach to Earth, called the perigee, about 225,000 miles away, that's a supermoon. It looks up to 14% bigger and 30% brighter, and does more than dazzle. The proximity can cause higher tides than usual. The name supermoon was coined in 1979 and is seeing a star turn in the internet age, periodically becoming a trending term, and shining on social media where the sky's the limit on sharing cool moon pictures. Amy Held, NPR News.
This is NPR.